I don't see anything.
You don't see anything.
I guess.
Maybe open your eyes works.
The city of the Mexican, or if you do it in Swedish.
But don't tell me it was the other link.
I don't see anything either.
I see.
That's all right.
We are all young shopping today.
Are you on?
Ah,
You're streaming to the other link, aren't you?
am I? No, I'm not. It's playing on It's playing on YouTube. No, I'm not.
You're on the wrong stream.
Am I on
Oh, what
And if y'all
happened?
gonna talk over the intro, you gotta talk to the beat of the music. You're messing up my flashbacks to my golf club days.
Oh,
And if y'all gonna talk over the beat, so you're messing up my flashbacks to my golf club days.
Why do I hear an echo?
damn. Oh my god.
Why do I have an echo?
I
I
don't
don't hear
know.
it.
I don't know, Nico.
What the? Why do I have an echo? I can hear myself twice.
Too many Danishes.
Ah! What the? Why do I have an
You can
echo?
never have
I
too
can
many.
hear myself twice.
Too many Danishes.
What's going on?
Hey, that went.
I'm afraid to talk now because the minute I hear myself saying what I just did.
I know what it was.
Was it you?
It was me.
Ah, Sam!
I had the
eoSam is trying to be Linda.
I had the streaming audio going live, as well as the yard stream audio going live, as well as the audio from the video clip going live.
Everything was just going.
So I had everything was going through it like twice. Very professional.
Well, isn't everything just going fine today?
And,
Yeah.
and to think we tested this out beforehand.
Yes, we did. We tested it out.
Best laid plans, that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's just the rules of theater, Good dress rehearsal, bad first night. Bad first rehearsal, awesome first night. So if you tested it out and everything went peachy keen, you should know something was going to go sideways.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we should have known. Oh,
They've done this show before.
Yeah. Like we haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the first time. What the fuck have we done? No.
Oh. Welcome,
Hello,
Junk
people.
Shop. Yeah, we got Junk
Keep
Shop,
popping
Microraptor,
in.
Accessory.
And people are coming in the chat.
Are they already? Wow.
Yeah. Hi, dog. I've always said hi to dog. Now my chat disappeared because.
And I got the wheel set up.
Yay!
There's a whole bunch of options.
Hey,
for
dog,
topics.
eoSam. Dave.
okay.
Never again.
Critical
You
crippled.
shared? Thank you.
Harmonica Man. Did you say Harmonica Man? Dog.
Never
was in the
again
chat.
thinks we weren't paying attention.
Oh,
Yeah.
That echo was from me. Damn it.
Was it from you?
Ah!
I had
Did we have. What is
Maybe
it called if it's two
I had-
times echo?
I had the TMI test stream open, and then I
Did
had
you?
this stream open.
Ah!
Boy, was I hearing echoes.
Yeah, I think we're all contributing to that in some way. Me and you. amiga. Anyway,
What?
Well, aren't you just super co-hosts?
yeah, that's right. We're super cool. Emphasis on super.
Super,
Yeah.
super,
Yes.
Oopa.
something.
Well, you know what spin spells backwards, don't you?
What?
Huh?
Oh dear.
What did you say? What
You-
spells
do you-
backwards?
Yeah, do you know what spin spells backwards?
Nips?
Nips, that's right. Should I spin it? I don't know.
I don't know. So by that logic, do you have pasties on your wheel?
No, but we can add them.
Follow that nip button.
Do we have
Nips.
nips? Yep, never again
I
says
do have
nips.
nip, yes.
Nips! Come on!
Well, that's me out.
No, no.
You're out. What? We didn't even just started. Come on. That shows very little self-esteem.
Oh, I'm clipping Linda's reaction to this one.
You're out.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Someone's got me.
Breathe,
Yes.
breathe.
Yeah.
Well, does anyone have anything to say about self-esteem?
What's self-esteem?
What is it? That elusive thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we know about
That was
as
the
much.
wrong one. Stop jumping.
We know about as much about self-esteem as lives know about physics.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like a funny thing, self-esteem. It's like always, you're always building it. It seems like it's always
Yeah.
something that you have to keep building and build. It's like a never attainable kind of thing that you're never really quite satisfied. You know?
Yeah.
It's like Jenga, though. You know, you can keep on building it, but you gotta build it from things that have already done, and then at some point it just
Well, that's,
Well, isn't it more like you got to protect it from
Self-esteem.
other people undermining it?
Yeah, there is an aspect of that,
You
I
know?
think. I agree with that. To a certain extent. Well, without being defensive, that's hard to do, you know what I mean?
yeah, that is true.
yeah.
Because you want to try and make it more of an asset to yourself instead of like something you have to struggle with. It should be something that should be not so unattainable. You know what I mean? Even though I said it seems unattainable at times, but I think that's just something our inner voice tells us about ourselves.
Yeah, that's fair. And there's also an enormous difference between seems unattainable and is unattainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was. There's the language I use that makes it a little bit more something that we can balance out in a way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I think.
And
Thank you.
I'm thinking of like people like Donald Trump who has too much self-esteem. Like he's incapable of not having like he always thinks he's the best. He's never doubted himself ever, and like that's not good either.
Well, that's kind of like more lines of megalomaniaism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Narcissism.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah,
Actual-
narcissistic.
He's an actual high. He's like at the limit, the extreme limit of being a true narcissist. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
he
much.
does. He's kind of like outside of what we're really talking about here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I've seen a lot of people who have had their self-esteem torn down by family members or society around them.
Sure.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's what you gotta kind of protect yourself from. You gotta.
Well, it's important, I think. And I learned this little thing. It's a little thing I learned from a woman counselor that I spoke with. She said to me, if someone calls you a name, do you get like upset? And I guess it would depend on what the name is, right? So she said, okay, if someone called you, let's say a 57 Chevy, and they really meant it, how would you feel about that?
Tell them I was a 68 Camaro, actually.
Great point. But what she was trying to tell me was that are you she says that's what she said. Are you a 57 Chevy? And I'm like, well, no. Well, then of course you're not going to really get upset over that, right? If someone was to call you that. But what if I were to call you a lazy bum? Oh, well, now you're getting to the. She says, well, are you a lazy bum? And I'm like, well, no. I says, well, you're not a 57 Chevy, right? I'm like, no, I'm not a 57 Chevy. So, and you're not a lazy bum either, right? I said, no. Well, then why are you getting upset how come you're not getting upset when I said you were a 57 Chevy and you're obviously not? And since you're not a lazy bum, why are you getting upset over being a lazy bum? And I was like, yeah, right. Why am I being upset over her calling me a lazy bum? And I had an epiphany. I says, who the fuck cares? They call me whatever I know I'm not what they're saying. So why should I care? And I thought to myself, wow, that lifted off a whole burden of crap I had on me. That was like, wow, I don't have to react to that. I really don't have to react to that in that fashion, because I know I'm not a lazy bum and I know I'm not a 57 Chevy. So they could call me whatever they want because I know what I am. If you know what you are, then it doesn't matter.
I got a case of thinking your self-esteem is much bigger than you are.
Oh.
And thinking you're bigger than you really are. This little guy.
They talking a lot about that with the trans people, that we need other people's validation. I think that most trans people who suffer a bit from low self-esteem when it comes to our own identity. As you say, we know what we are, but other people calling us again, we aren't, is very, it breaks it down. So it's good to hear other people say it, even if you know you aren't that thing, that gender or that sexuality that they say you are.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big point.
Yeah.
Big, huge. Because if you have people, in your community constantly putting you down, that's going to take a toll. That's going to tear down your self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So how do we stop that from happening? Anybody?
I think that
Sometimes it just comes down. I'm sorry, Microraptor. Go ahead.
I think we in this community are relatively good at that. I feel like if I had a situation like that, I feel like I could come to someone and say that, hey, this thing happened, and like other people might not feel that way, but to me it feels like we have such relationship to each other that I think it's relatively easy to come and address those kinds of issues. Maybe that's my feeling.
Yeah.
I'm done. You can talk. Thank you.
You're done? Okay.
No, I was just going to say, and I'm not going to.
I'm done. Bye. No.
No.
Here by my wonderful spouse, but sometimes it comes down to just finding better people.
Hello,
You know,
Julie.
if you're surrounded by people who are just whittling away at your self-esteem, sometimes you just gotta walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that has to do with boundaries, you know? If you have if you let people walk all over you, and that means you're not setting up boundaries for yourself to protect your self-esteem, like what Amigo was talking about, right? I think.
Yeah.
So being aware of that is a good measure to a way to measure what you need to take the steps to mitigate that in some way. That may not be an answer for everyone, but I know it helped me. It helps me. That's how I think about it. Anyway, I may be simplifying it, but I think that's part of the process. Is not to overthink it. Is to simplify it a little bit. It makes it easier to understand and easier to follow along with in some respects. But yeah.
Oh, dog has a point.
Woof. Oh. Yeah.
To quote
Telling
Telling a bully to fuck off is great for your self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
Read.
Yeah, it's always healthy to confront people who are causing harm.
Slim. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Slim.
And Never Again says healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries. Yeah,
Yes.
I already mentioned
I love
that.
the distinction that Never Again is drawing there between healthy and irrational boundaries. That's a whole stream in and of itself, is
Yeah, that's true.
setting up boundaries and the distinction between healthy and irrational ones. I'm really intrigued by that. I've got a whole nother track running in my head now because of that.
Well, the same thing like with fear. Fear isn't good, but there are healthy things about fear that can help us. But so in that way, there are a lot of parallels with that kind of stuff. So it is a topic on its own, like you said. Yeah. Slim Cyborg is in the house, and he's naked.
He is.
And he's naked, of course.
Yes, harmonica man, that does help.
Oh yeah. Yes, it does.
Hey,
yeah.
why not?
Certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt.
Hopefully.
For having someone telling you how wonderful and fantabulous you are.
Doc Fearsome. Fear is a very good thing. Take it from an expert.
Hi, Julie.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be the cat in the stream. I just, when you said that about having someone who tells you how lovely and awesome you are, yeah, that's very helpful. I
There
love
you go. There you
Aw.
go.
Okay, I'm gone again. I'm
Yeah.
No, you don't have to hide. You can
Yeah.
participate as well.
That's a wonderful example.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
Oops.
I got a miga to do that.
but yeah,
Hey.
with negative feelings like with fear and stuff can be good. I remember someone said that something about if it Martin Luther King who said that he wasn't very angry, and my thought was when I heard that he probably was really fucking furious, but he was able to channel that anger in a way that was constructive. And of course, it's important to do that when you have anger or fear or whatever to be able to channel that in a constructive way.
Well, yeah, and I think that ties into people's, or at least it ties into my self-esteem. Being
Yeah.
able to do that kind of thing ties into your self-esteem. Well, am I capable of actually doing that kind of thing? That's something I would frequently ask myself. So it's like I'm constantly checking my own self-esteem when a situation arises.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Mhm.
a lot of people do that, but I tend to do that.
I do that.
Oh, you do as well? Oh, so
Mhm.
I'm not totally
No.
off with that, I guess.
No, you're not.
No.
Oh, thank you, dog.
Nips?
Yeah, it's pretty nippy. No, that's not what you were talking about. Okay.
Nips.
Nips, here we go. We're
Yeah,
gonna spin the wheel again.
we're gonna get a freaking.
She goes. Oh, ah,
Wow. Guilt
Oh,
It's my
and guilt and shame. Guilt/shame. Guilt, wow. Guilt.
oh, that's mine.
I'll fight you for it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we all feel it, but nobody wants to talk about what we're feeling.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
If you
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Hey!
Well, you could have said that out loud, Microraptor.
Oh, okay. Because of the shame I associated with vulnerability, it's song lyrics. Hey,
Yes.
Lynn. Yeah, it's from Against Me. The singer is trans, a trans woman, and yeah, she sings a lot about being trans and yeah, shame and stuff like that.
Mm.
I didn't know that there was
I'm
someone who did
feeling
that.
guilty because I don't have a job right now.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like Purple's thing in the comments. Do you mind, Linda? Do you mind pulling up Purple's first comment there?
Yep.
Dr. Seuss.
That one. Yep.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I live by Dr. Seuss. Don't do anything you are ashamed of, and don't be ashamed of anything you do.
Cheers.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, if it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although I felt guilty when my mom died
Mm.
because
Did you kill her? No.
no, no, but I did find her after she had
Oh.
fallen,
Oh my God.
and I felt
I'm sorry to hear that.
I had that feeling of guilt, like I should have been able to do something more. But when I found her, she already had the head injury from when she fell. And it took me a lot to get to the point where I could say to myself, even though everybody was telling me it's not your fault, you don't have to feel guilty about it, it stuck with me for weeks,
Yeah.
constantly. So,
That makes a lot of sense for sure.
yeah.
Oh,
Stuff
there's
like that
Slim.
injuries.
Hi,
What?
Slim.
What? Am I here? Oh, hi.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been here for a bit.
Don't stand up.
No,
That's for
That's
after.
for later.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's the after
That's for-
party.
yeah.
That's the Patreon only content.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Junkyard knows.
I still got the stream up where Slim stands up.
There has been 3 streams that I've accidentally stood up, and they're still all there. So I guess I don't have real
No.
genitalia.
I think
It's
I-
not
Well,
human.
isn't that a boost for your self-esteem?
I think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
truth is that
Damn.
I think the truth is that there are no streams where you accidentally showed your genitals.
Yeah, it's definitely in quotation marks, accidentally.
Yeah. What is that, like accidentally on purpose? Right. Is that-
Yeah.
I was trying to show my inner thigh tattoo, and I didn't have clothes on. Oh, I forgot,
Oh, oopsie. As they would say.
So, speaking of this theme, when I was growing up around religion, you were pretty much taught to feel both of those for everything.
Yes.
So
Ex-Catholic here.
I've felt, and I think we've talked about this before, and I'm just going to talk about it really quick, and then we'll move on. I was molested in Christian school, and they tried to make it seem like it was my fault.
Oh, Jesus.
They were making me feel guilty. Luckily, I was the one who told on him, and he got arrested and everything because of me. So I made it right. Luckily, because I didn't know anything was going on wrong, and I just told one of the teachers, "Hey, this guy is like blah, blah," and she goes, "Oh crap." So, but anyways, there's no reason to feel guilt or shame unless you harm somebody else or yourself, with on purpose. If you accidentally do something to harm yourself, then that's not. But if you're going around and you're maliciously harming people or calling them names just to better yourself, then that you should be running around with shame and guilt. Like who's this crazy congresswoman who was saying that the school shootings aren't real, and
Taylor Green.
she should have a lot of guilt and shame in her heart because she is doing a bunch of horrible things. And I was watching the live thingy in Congress about trying to take away her powers, And she is completely backpedaled now. She said, "Oh no, the 9/11 was real. The Pentagon thing happened. Oh, the school shootings were real. I feel really bad." She says she was her school was taken over by a student who held up the school with a gun when she was a kid, is what she's saying now. So we're gonna have to find out. Go ahead.
I can recognize that, Purple. I sometimes do that.
I had an ex like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was raised non-religious, and I don't have any guilt or shame about the same things that religious people have guilt or shame about, it seems.
I still have remnants of when I'm at the gay club or something and I'm looking at the boys or something, I'll in the back of my mind be like, oh, that's wrong. And it's like, that's only because that was instilled in my brain at a young age that, having feelings that's not normal for whatever you are raised to believe is right. And same with a couple other things that I do every once in a while. I'll be doing them and they're not hurting anybody, but the religiosity that I have in the back of my brain still, even though I denounced God when I was 14, I think. But go ahead.
Yeah. I've never been religious, so I also don't have this guilt. My moral compass is kind of based on my parents. I would say that, like, I've expanded on it, but like there is that respecting queer people and don't be racist and blah blah blah, all of that I do of course believe, and that they have instilled and that I have expanded on, and it's sort of and so while it's kind of hard to explain to them being trans and stuff, I don't feel shame over that. So yeah, I don't have the same experience, but yeah, I've heard that a lot from religious people.
I feel
It's like you're almost like forced because of some culture to feel shame for what you are. It's like, huh? I don't get that. I don't get that at all.
What were you going to say, Linda?
I was going to say, I feel shame when I'm crying.
Yeah.
But that's just a release of emotions in that certain way. So I get you, but you really shouldn't, because it's just a way that your body deals with emotional situations. So, yeah.
Oh, but shouldn't feel and does feel are so very, 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 very different, my friend.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, man, because it's like certain emotions, it just floods your brains with chemicals, right?
Yep.
So many chemicals, and you just can't turn it off.
Well, and they in some studies they've done, they say that it's very negative to try to shut those off and hide them. Just go with the flow. Let your body naturally do the thing, and then deal with it. Hopefully you don't do it while you're standing in line at the bank or in non-opportune situations.
Yeah, right.
Then maybe try not to. But if you're in a safe place or in your car and you feel overwhelmed, why should you not do that? I mean, I cry all the time. I usually do it in the shower. I don't know why I get weird emotions in the shower, but I usually cry to myself in the shower. Once out of every couple months, I'll just have a nice cry,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I think for me it's different. I don't know, because I feel shame when I don't live up to my own expectations, or when I disappoint someone or something. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get you. Like when I do a show and I have I have an idea in my head what I'm going to perform and how far I'm going to go. And if for some reason I don't lift as many weights as I planned on lifting, I walk off stage like shamed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do that. But the audience doesn't know that. They don't know what I planned. You know, I didn't go out there. I didn't hand out a pamphlet saying this is what we're going to do. And I have to fulfill that. So you got to remember that other people don't know what you planned on doing. So as long as you bring out quality or do what you said you were going to do, even if it wasn't the full extent, other people don't know that. But feeling guilty and feeling shame is what makes people have a drive or want to work better or do stuff better. So.
Yeah. And even if they do know, they might not care as much as you do. They probably don't care as much as you do.
Right?
Yeah.
Like probably nobody does.
Like with video editing, I try to like make everything as perfect as possible. Some of my most favorite videos are the ones that I half-assed while I was drunk.
Yes.
Yeah. I have something I spent days and weeks on and months. And go ahead and read that.
It's Purple says shame and depression can easily get into a very nasty feedback loop. Agreed.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I like Sandy's. Helps to know we're not alone.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's another reason why echo chambers are so toxic and can be very dangerous, because you can just get stuck hearing and listening to the same negative stuff over and over again, especially with a conspiracy theory like QAnon, where they think everybody's a reptilian who does bad things to kids, and everything's very toxic in there. So if you're just sitting there in their chat rooms, all you're hearing, almost like flat earth, because flat earth is just negativity. It has nothing nice to say. It's always like, look at how dumb the globers are. It's like, honey, you're just looking at memes. You don't know math. Like,
but that's slightly different, because the QAnon people, all right, they're literally feeding on their own fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Okay. A flat Earth, it's like, where is the fear if the Earth is flat, or if the Earth is round?
Yeah.
Does it affect your life in any way?
It just makes them feel special.
It just makes them feel special. But the QAnon people, all right, it's the fear that drives them.
Well, look, they tried to take over the Capitol because they believed that the election was unfair or somehow was done wrong, even though there was no evidence. And
but it was the fear that somebody put into their head. It was an artificial fear that was put into their heads.
And well, same with the white supremacy groups in the Americas. And I'm only saying that is because I only have studied them and been around them. The same difference. They instill the fear in you. Every other race is going to come and take your house and your job, and it's all fear mongering. And it's like, nobody cares about you, dude. They're going to do their own thing. And if you're not smart enough, or you don't have enough schooling for the Indian doctor to come over here and take a job as a doctor because they went to school forever, well, then you don't get that job. Like, that's not how these things work. Spin.
Decision making.
ADHD.
Not another decision.
Flip the coin, roll the dice, make the pros and cons list. Help!
Exactly.
Yeah.
What clothes do I wear? Oh!
Should I wear any?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Hey, you came in
Do I
naked,
even
right?
feel like going out
Going out? What is this going out of which you speak?
Yeah, I
yes.
don't know.
Yes, Linda, please
Yeah,
explain.
what's
We
that?
used to do that when I was young. Before the corona.
I remember back in my day when we used to go outside and play in the park.
Yeah.
Imagine that, huh?
Kids,
So-
let me tell you about movie theaters where we all used to sit in each other's bed bugs.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'd breathe each other's air without any care.
yeah. The good old days of an underground rave where everybody's on drugs crawling over each other. Oh, I miss those days.
I remember.
Those were the days.
I like Purple's comment there. The latest one.
yeah.
Well, that's right.
Well, the other
Yeah.
day we were talking about how we missed sex dungeons and swinger events and stuff like that. So, I mean, same difference. Yeah, I remember orgies as well. So, you know, that's really what I miss is the sex fun I used to have.
I'm still waiting for that to happen.
And speaking of decision making, that's why I got my vasectomy.
Oh,
Good decision making. Thinking of the future.
Yeah.
yeah. You planned ahead,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, but
And I'm just sitting here, and in my head, it's just going, ouch, ouch, ouch,
Ooh.
ouch, ouch, ouch.
very funny story. They actually used
2 days, sit still and play Xbox. You're good.
Yeah. The funny story is they put the gentleman used so much numbing stuff. I was actually recording with my phone what he was doing the whole time, and I was laughing. He kept looking up at me going, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "You know how funny this is? I'm taking video of you like cutting open my balls, and I don't feel it."
Oh man.
So I have videos of my vasectomy being done.
Nice.
If
Yeah,
you knew who
mine
I am,
too,
this
Purple.
laughing would make sense.
Yeah.
Actually, the hardest core person I've ever met.
Yeah.
That is the most badass thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. I'm sorry, Linda. Do we swear here? I just had a total brain fart.
Fuck no.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yes, I would never complain to anybody who's had any kind of organ change, sex change, anything like that. I definitely give it up to them because that's way worse than any mods that I've had done. But I have had a bunch of crazy stuff done. But anybody who can go through that process, I bow down to you.
Well, never again says you
There,
win.
but we'll just sort of slide
Past that.
Yeah, Slim, you win the TMI award again.
Yes.
Says never again.
That is my goal is to try to tell a story that nobody's ever heard before in their life, not just from me, but in their life.
Oh, well, you've
I didn't know
definitely.
we had an award show.
Yeah, I didn't know we had an award show either.
Yeah, didn't you know you were supposed to be stacking these up and do a whole compilation thing at the end of the year like Dave?
Oh,
I have been giving you gold because I thought there was an award show. Oh,
Yeah.
dang it.
yeah, Amiga, you're on that. You're on that, right?
Yeah, Miga, get our award show going or the TMI award show going.
Yeah, we're on it.
I'll be the nude host.
It's first in April.
April.
I think that's
In
TMI's 1 year.
We have to read Harmonica Man's last comment.
I was just reading that. Yes, thank you.
Yes. I remember using that brain when it happened. Abby Normal is my favorite.
I had a brain transplant
Oh,
once with something.
Abby something. Abby something.
Yeah, exactly.
Abby
My brain is
Normal. That's it.
Oh, I love that movie. It's so great.
She was a wonderful woman.
I think we decided to. I think we decided to talk about something other than decision making.
Yeah. Sometimes I eschew the
Yeah,
conversation.
that
Yeah.
happens.
We can do a
Mix.
What were we talking about?
Exactly.
Nobody
I don't-
knows.
No one remembers.
So if we can make fun of decision making right quick, if you talk to a fortune teller, we can do tea leaf readings. We can do scrying. How do you want to make your decision? We can do tarot reading.
Tarot, we can do runes, we can do
I've got crystals. I've got all kinds of things, honey, that we can just choose whichever way you want to decide.
Can you read?
Okay.
Can you read the bumps on my head?
Oh yeah, totally.
Phrenology.
Yeah,
that's always a valid
for
choice.
Ouija boards.
I know all the pseudo fortune telling ways or whatever. I studied a bunch of those. I mean, I think most of you know I'm a carny in real life. Like we run a oddities tent and we do circuses and carnivals and conventions and fairs. So we have people that do all that fun stuff, but we tell everybody that it's a joke. You know, like when you're getting your fortune read, we're not like, this is real. We're like, this is for fun. We're just, pay us a little bit of money for tips and we'll tell you your future. We don't tell them it's real.
Yeah, that's
Rex
at least
says, I
honest.
decide to spin the damn thing.
Yay.
Sorry, Micro.
Open.
Yeah.
We haven't been like this entire time. Hasn't been open discussion. What the hell is this supposed to mean?
I don't know if I can open up anymore.
It means
Yes,
it
we
means junk shop. You just start talking about
filming skills. I don't. How much more open do you want us to be, sweet Jesus?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
High
That's what it's all,
voice, done, spin.
that's what it's all about.
Oh my God! Somebody took my word for something.
losing it.
Labeling.
Self-labeling. That's what it is. Yes, sir.
Yeah, now we're gonna be open show enough. God damn.
Is that when you tattoo your own self?
It could be, sure. What do you paprika?
Well, I have 8 tattoos I did on myself. So is that self-labeling?
Sure. Yeah.
Or is it tattoos that have words on it, like sideshow?
Dang it, Slim! You already won the award. All right, come on.
Oh, I'll stop trying.
Yeah, you just flavor text from here on out.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody
can't-
touching you.
Yeah, you can't sweep every category.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the silence of the lambs. You're not gonna win them all.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just sit here and look pretty.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Oh, didn't you already win that award too?
Oh, dang it. I can't lose anything over here.
Yeah, that's called the Sitting Looking Pretty Award.
Yeah.
Sulpa sitting looking pretty award, the Sulpa.
The sopa, yeah.
Good,
Nice.
good.
Nice.
I was going to say JC. JS.
It derives
Does
from
anyone say JS? They say JS, right? When referring to junk shop.
JSL.
Yeah.
Oh, they.
it depends.
Oh, I forgot the L.
JSL.
Yeah, yes, JS is also JavaScript, which is a programming language. So I think of that when they're calling that that.
See
Yeah.
that? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now I'm going to be trapped in a computer like in some weird kids book from the 90s.
Yeah.
Did you
If I
know
wake
I
up
did?
tomorrow morning and all of your computers are doing weird shit with Bible verses, you'll know who to blame.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit! I hope
Junk
not.
Shop Library meets Tron.
Wow, that would be quite an episode.
If we get a blue screen, we know that Giant Shop.
There's none of these fluorescent blues or anything. Everything is just all shades of brown and moves at about 2 miles an hour.
Oh no.
If we get a blue screen, we know that Giant Shop read an extra weird part of the Bible.
The extra weird. Well, you know what's funny? This labeling thing. I had no idea I was a cis male until someone said, "You're a cis male." I'm like, "What? What's that?"
Hey, me too.
I had no clue.
I still think
It was
that
like
that's. I think
I
that's
finally
named
belonged
wrong.
to a group. It was like, wow.
It's
Who knew?
named
I
wrong.
didn't.
Why?
I didn't know.
Slim, why do you think it's named wrong?
Because when I was growing up, a cis male was a twink or a skinny gay boy. So when they started saying cis males, I was like, "Ooh, twinks!" And then they were like, "No, it's a straight male." And I'm like, "Oh, that's not what we called it." But you know how like little pockets of groups can make up their own words, and then of course something can become popular other places. But like a cis boy or a cis was a twink or a skinny gay boy.
Yeah. It's
Well, I'd never heard of it until only a few years ago. I'd never heard that phrase.
When did it come out?
I'm not sure.
Like 8 years ago or something, I think. I think I started hearing it around that time.
I'm not sure.
I think I heard it earlier, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I can totally believe that because
we got research coming in from the bullpen over here.
Okay, so hello. According to the dictionary, and not to go against what Cyborg just said, because yeah, you're absolutely right. All groups come up with their own jargon. It's why I was bisexual for the first couple of decades of my life, because pansexual, that term didn't exist yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah. So so cis, CIS, is an adjective, usually creating compound words of cisgender or cissexual, which simply means a person who is cisgender or cissexual. And what that means is your gender identity is matches the sex you were born with. Not to say that sex and gender are the same thing. They absolutely are not. But I, for example, am a cis woman, but I'm also genderqueer. So, yeah, enjoy that.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And
that cleared it up.
yeah, thank you for thank you.
I'll be right back.
Thank you.
The other thing was I heard the word before I saw it written down. So I was hearing it as cis male, you know, and not CIS male, right?
Yeah,
so
I had a similar experience with that.
So at first,
I knew of the sissy phenomenon before I knew what cisgender meant. And when those two hit in my brain, I had to have some uncomfortable conversations with some much more worldly friends before I understood the mistakes I was making and how to better craft my sentences.
Yeah, totally. And that's in my mind, I knew what they were saying and I kind of understood it, but just in the back of my head, I kept mislabeling it at first. And then I'm like, no, they're not talking about me, which is would be a skinny gay boy. they're talking about something different. So, because just like sissy and freak and a couple other words, at one point in time, certain groups decided to embrace it instead of be opposed to it. So when somebody would call me a sissy, I'm like, yeah, girl, sure. Like instead of being negative to it, because they were trying to be negative, but it's like, you can call me whatever you want. I won't get offended because I know what I am and who I am,
Yeah.
At 14 years old, I was wearing dresses and makeup out in public in San Diego on the streets around gangs, and gangs would hang out with me because they were like, hey, you're
to you, man, like to your 14-year-old self, I was not that brave back then.
I'm not that brave now.
I was chanting in my head, I like boys when I was 14 because I was afraid of going to hell. Like, good on you. That's awesome.
I question a lot of reality, and I came up a long time with a philosophy a long time ago. I'm going to try whatever, and I'm going to find out why you shouldn't do that or why it isn't a thing. You know why gentlemen don't wear dresses? Balls get really cold.
In the summer, dresses are awesome.
No.
Yeah.
Micro, I'm on the same page with you until it starts getting cold or breezes happen, and then you're like, "Ooh, okay, I understand why men started wearing pants. I get the whole going from a breechcloth or a loincloth to pants. I understand that now. I still love wearing dresses, and when it's summertime and we're in a club and I'm on stage, I will wear a dress over anything because it's 120 degrees on stage in front of those lights. I'm already sweating my balls off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I have a dress on, I can at least fan it off a little bit, be like, cool down some, and I get help from some of my friends, for fluffing and stuff. So, it's fun for everyone.
Yeah.
Just
And then when it's cold, you can just, you do what I do. You wear your yoga pants under your skirt.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Keep everything just the right amount of warm.
Yeah, for sure. I really don't like fishnets, but there are some certain types of tights that I can wear with my dresses, and then I'm comfortable enough. So yeah.
Oh, tights are fine. Fishnets are just a pain in the ass.
Oh man, they get inside your pee hole, and that hurts so bad.
They get everywhere. Everywhere do they get?
And they get knotted up under your foot in your shoe. So God forbid wearing heels and fishnets, because you are in for a world of hurt.
You at least occasionally catfish.
Sorry, say again, Clara.
Do you at least occasionally catch fish? If you catch fish in the
Hey, look what I made.
I did when I was younger.
Oh, I see the address, but where I can't click on it because I'm in StreamYard. What does it lead to?
Teespring.
I can see at least a Teespring. What is it?
The Tmi Show.
There we go.
Ooh,
Yes,
TMI.
TMI show. All right.
Show the front.
And I ordered 2 T-shirts.
Oh, it's
I
cool.
did too.
Yeah, now show the other side.
Pretty.
Innocent voice, dirty mind. Yeah.
They got male unisex T-shirt. What is it called? Something.
You need to do panties.
Yeah, I know.
I got my face on the front of panties, so if you want me in your panties, you can order from my Teespring.
I did not know Teespring had panties. I've now got so many ideas.
Yeah. I know they have boy shorts for sure. I'm not sure. I think they have.
I'm the one in the family who prefers boy shorts.
Yay, stickers.
Yeah. Oh. I disappeared all the way up there. There we go.
That's the teaspoon.
Well, you
That was nice.
could do that.
Yes.
All right, what happens next?
Nips.
Nips.
Oops.
Okay. Oh, that wrong nips.
I don't know that word.
Oostress. I know that word. Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah.
I know the word estrus, but that's spelt entirely differently.
It
And
just means
mistress
taking
is different.
stress and using it like
Eustress. I wrote a whole thing about it.
good stress.
You
Good
stressed?
stress.
No, you're stressed.
I
So,
stress,
B-
you stress, we all stress, or I stress.
so BDSM.
No, but using
you-
the stress for good.
So
Eustress.
BDSM.
Eustress. I have it written down here. If anyone would like to listen to it, I'll read it.
Is it
So-
EU stress that is specific to the EU?
Hello.
Just good stress.
It's positive stress that you can that helps you to accomplish goals.
Oh,
Okay.
like what stress was originally meant to be, evolutionarily speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got
An
it.
example would be, say,
Keeping you alive.
Right. Or just like I'm stressed out about a project I need to finish, so that's going to motivate me to finish it.
A timeline or
Yeah.
a goal or when it's supposed to be in or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, in terms of the opposites, like distress,
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh, it's the other end of the spectrum. Of
So
distress.
trying to make your partner have an orgasm.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's stressful.
Mm.
That was supposed to be fun.
Well, when you had to tie them up and bound
How
them and
long
put
it
them on,
goes on.
Yeah.
you
Depends
have
on if
to
you have a
tie-
cramp.
if you have to tie them up and bound them and then whip them and then pour wax on them and go through all the steps first, yeah, it can be.
Yeah, if it's a rigmarole, then yes.
If it's just like straight sex, oh, that's easy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have to go through the whole, renting the dungeon, getting the film crew, getting the, the equipment.
Wait, what?
and-
What?
Oh,
Then you
yeah.
got to
no.
decide.
What? That's not
No.
how you have sex? Oh, damn.
I got a good one.
Then you gotta decide which king to do. Then you like
Who to invite? All that
Yeah.
stuff, and what paper to put the invitation on.
Oh man, that's where the stress
Okay.
really comes in. What
Stationary.
kind of papers? You go full hyacinth bouquet on that shit.
Oh.
You got to pick.
Hyacinth.
You got to measure the margins. You got to place the seal exactly right.
So stressful. So stressful.
Isn't it bucket?
No, it's bouquet.
Oh, okay.
French pronunciation.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Whatever you say, Mrs. Bucket.
oh,
It's pronounced bouquet.
Bucket, huh? Okay.
Oh,
So
There's a hole in my
I didn't
bucket.
expect
Dear
that joke to have
Liza,
that much
dear
legs,
Liza.
honestly. I thought it was going to fall like a lead balloon. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
all.
yeah.
I'll be here all week.
For anyone in the chat who doesn't know, that was a reference to Keeping Up Appearances, an old BBC show, which we both highly recommend because it's funny.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just-
Yeah, they showed it here in Denmark too.
Oh, hey, hell yeah.
yeah, too.
Yeah, it's real funny.
The true classics never go out of style.
That's right.
I watch it on something. I don't remember what it is
Like
over here that I
you,
watch
JSL.
Yeah. Aw. My dad doesn't call it Keeping Up Appearances. He calls it the Bucket Woman.
The bucket.
That's what he calls it.
Mhm.
on. Oh man.
It's a bucket list.
Uncontrollable feelings. Now you're talking my
Oh.
language.
That's when you use a Hayachi wand.
I had those yesterday. I had those last night when we couldn't find the paperwork I needed for my job thing.
I don't know.
You had that one?
Honestly, it depends on if we're talking about uncontrollable feelings coming from within because you got something wrong in your brain pan, like or if we're talking uncontrollable feelings like Slim was just mentioning, if they're being inflicted upon you from without for ostensibly good purposes.
Let's go with you first, Junk.
Well, let's see. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's the panic attacks, there's an entire episode of Mental Health Thursdays on my channel devoted to every single one of those.
There's having a bipolar life.
Like and subscribe, motherfucker. I like yours better, though.
Yeah, yours is more fun. Sorry, I'm just absolutely the destructive cat in the stream now. I'm just not going to.
Don't break the OLED.
Okay.
I know. I have to figure out how to edit my video so I can clip that part out. I don't know how. I will figure it out and do it.
Okay.
Oh, Linda can tell you how to do that. She's becoming an expert.
Excellent.
Right,
What?
Linda? Right? You're becoming an expert?
Oh.
At video editing? Oh, I'll send you some of my
yeah.
porn if you can edit it.
Sure.
I was
Recording you and
editing
put some
program
music
we had
in or
on our
something.
old computer, but our old computer also had, I think, Pong. So
It was pretty bad.
yeah.
That's how junk shopping became a verb.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slim, you want to send me those videos? I'll gladly edit them for you.
Oh, I need a good video editor, so I'll be sending you those.
I'm not very good at it, but I can try.
Hey, why not?
Give me a shot, Just drop them in my in the Google Drive.
Yeah, but Linda and I will do it for free.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I didn't mention any. There's no
What for
fee.
free?
I didn't mention any.
Yeah.
fee.
Who got it?
Do you want to know how to take the wind?
What did I just get volunteered to do for free?
Yeah, exactly.
What am I doing for free?
There's hours of footage.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I'm just learning.
Do you want to know? You want to know how to take the wind out of your own sail? Try editing your own porn.
Been there, done that, never going there again. Thank you very much. Fuck off. Good night.
That was before.
Exactly. If you want to not impress your own self,
So Slim, does that give you uncontrollable feelings when you have to do that?
yeah, it does.
Yeah, see?
Ox is back. Ox was making a meme. No, sorry, I can't pronounce. Ox is back. Ox was making a meme of me. I'm terrified.
Oh,
Terrified
kinky.
am I.
Whoa.
I thought we were friends.
Blink. Come on, Ox. Blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
Yay.
Ox. You have a rich, so chill.
And they did. So speaking of uncontrollable feelings, since Junk was talking about all those things, does anybody have any suggestions about how to counteract maybe some of those things before I talk about my version of this subject?
Yeah. I know I'm just a voice over here next to Junk Shop's head. I don't really exist. But I'm teasing. No.
I know.
Me
Get out the
too.
way.
Me too. Sorry. Hi. I'm busting in on the stream again. I'm sorry. What helps me with uncontrollable feelings, which I get, especially if I'm in a mixed state, which I'm bipolar. So a mixed state is when you're depressed, but you're also just manic enough. And if you're manic, that feels awesome. You don't always make awesome decisions, and you have poor impulse control, and shit can get weird really fast, but it feels amazing. Depression, as we all know, feels horrible. A mixed state is when you're depressed, but you're just manic enough to have the energy to do bad shit. And so for me, like what happened last night is my anxiety got triggered because I couldn't find this document that I needed because we moved recently. And of course, you know, half our shit's still in boxes. And we were tearing the apartment apart looking for it. And I could feel this rage just building and building and building. And it was uncontrollable. And I was being very careful not to take it out on my darling here. But the problem is when that happens, it's kind of like a grenade going off and there's shrapnel, and this is the only person I live with. So, and so I try, you know, it's like I'll say something awful about myself or about the situation, but I'm saying it in such an angry voice and in such an awful way that you know, they take it as it being said at them. And even though they know I don't mean it that way, it's hard not to feel that when you're in the room with somebody who's that angry. So that's my one uncontrollable emotion, that if I could, you know, if there was a mood stabilizer that worked any better than the one I already have, that I already take, that would kill that, I would take it in a heartbeat, because that's the one. But it's solutions. Okay, CBT. That's what I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay, so what helps me with that when I get enraged like that is self-awareness. I realize this is all coming from inside me, and I don't want to take it out on anyone else or our furniture or our stuff. I haven't just randomly thrown glasses against walls in years, so I'm getting better. So I try to do opposite to emotion action.
Same here.
Yeah, there you go. Or I'll put like a podcast in that's funny, and I'll just stick earbuds in, and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to talk for a while. I'm going to keep looking, but I'm, you know, and that helps me calm down. So yeah, just basically anything that's not anger or anxiety inducing, I will do at that point, just to try to calm down. Okay, I'm out. Sorry.
Slim, he meant cognitive behavioral therapy, not cock and ball torture, and she said CBT.
I did.
Yes, I once got into a very confusing conversation on Mental Health Thursdays when I was talking about CBT. And a friend of mine who was a friend of mine from a very different corner of the internet happened to be in the chat, and much confusion was had by all. This is what Ox did.
Oh, you're a stained glass window now. It's amazing. I want a print of that, and I want to frame it. That is fucking beautiful.
Ox, you're a very bizarre person, but I have great affection for you.
I love you, Ox.
I will check that out later.
I think that's a good description of a lot of Young Chop fans. We're beside people, but you have a lot of love for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also won't make any major decisions when I have uncontrollable feelings.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
No life decisions while in an uncontrollable feeling. So.
Shall we nips?
Yes,
Sure.
we shall.
Nips.
Here we go.
Hell's bells and Lucifer's balls.
Everyone's favorite, anxiety and depression.
Oh, there are these favorite friends who come to every party.
And will not leave.
Every party.
No matter how many times you kick them in the shins and tell them they are not welcome, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's not enough Xanax in the world. That's all I'm saying.
Who let them in?
Who let the dogs out?
My
Who
brain.
let them in? Who let the world know that this was a thing?
Genetics, all kinds of stuff. My mom.
Mm.
I love her, but honestly, yeah, I get a lot of this shit from her. So
Well, that's a whole new twist on those jokes. Your mama's so anxious that
she gave me a crippling disorder. It's awesome.
your mama's so depressed that don't leave me hanging, motherfucker.
Sometimes I can't get out of bed. There you go. Oh,
Well, you know, I've been suffering from depression for a very long time and had no idea I was.
oh, honey,
Right?
that happened.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Shit.
I live most of my adult life in a depressive state, not even realizing it.
That's the fucking worst.
Yeah, I thought it was normal
Yep.
until
How did you
Until-
recognize it?
well, I stopped liking what I normally would like and enjoy doing, and that was a red flag to me. But I didn't understand that was something that was being created in my brain. You know, I thought it was something else. I thought it was something outside myself. I didn't really investigate it enough. But it was only until I went. Well, I had to go. Excuse me. I had to go to talk therapy in order to figure that out. You know, that was the
Therapy
big.
rocks.
Yes.
Yes.
So being able to have someone you can bounce these things off of, because this is very personal. You know, this is not stuff you talk to with people you meet on the street. You know,
Yeah.
it's not everyday conversation. You know, so.
You don't have that conversation with your fucking barista.
No. And if you do, she won't want to be your barista anymore because it's weird.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Exactly.
hey, our relationship is in a really good place, and we go to therapy every week. I mean, it's telecommunication therapy, but yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's still. Yeah.
I gotta go. Sorry.
It's great. Talk therapy in any form is great, I think.
Hopefully you.
Mark Caesar asked pros and cons of therapy.
Joel's on hold.
So the only cons. So
I have that.
the only cons I see at a therapy is if they are being done by a religious person or a religious group trying to give you the therapy, because I've seen them being directed in the wrong paths. I've been going to psychotherapy since I was 7 years old after getting molested in Christian school. So I've been going my whole life. And I think that it's actually positive because, again, like you were saying, Gio, you get to talk to somebody, discuss things you couldn't bounce off of somebody that otherwise.
Right.
Kind of like your significant other. You can't always talk to them about everything.
Right. Well, my family, I couldn't speak with my family, even though they were supportive of me in a lot of ways. They weren't supportive in me in that way at all. You know, they didn't want to know. They didn't want to know what my anxieties and depressions were. They didn't care. You know.
Yeah.
Or they didn't. Maybe they just didn't understand. And that's why it gave the impression that they didn't care, because I'm sure they care, you know. But,
And I had this all with Young Chop and Julie that you go every week, that perhaps then you have the chance to, if there is an issue between you, you catch it early enough so you can talk it over and it doesn't fester and become a big thing. You can solve it relatively easy.
sure, yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you that extra insight into your own way of thinking, you know, which is rare. It's hard to be introspective when you're in the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's when you step back and you have someone to talk to that can say, yeah, well, and mirror back what you just said. You need that interaction with someone else
For
to
sure.
be
Yeah.
able to grow, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it was for me. That's the way it was for me.
Well, and
I
also being told that it's okay to feel certain things, also because you may be in your own head thinking nobody else is feeling this. Is not normal, or whatever.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I had. The second time they sent me to therapy was after I wore a dress to school in 9th grade. My parents thought I was in the closet gay and wasn't coming out. That technically wasn't it. Just I was having fun wearing dresses. But the therapy helped me get through my teenage years, through my depression, because I was very depressed, thinking that, why don't I feel like every other man?
yeah.
Yeah, it's that creates a lot of anxiety for people when that kind of thing happens. And Never Again makes a great point that if your therapist isn't challenging you, you might have the wrong therapist. You have to think about that too.
Yeah.
Because if everything you go to your therapist and everything is hunky dory and fine and great, I'm having such a good time. Come on, and you're not doing therapy. You're just, I don't know what you're doing, but you're not doing therapy.
You're hanging out with an acquaintance.
You're in an echo chamber.
I can go to a diner at 2:00 in the morning and hang out with somebody I only a little bit know, and we can talk about how awesome everything is in our lives, and we can come out all pumped about how awesome everything is in our lives, but we're not progressing anywhere. And if that's the relationship you have with your therapist, you need to get your ass a new fucking therapist, because there's no growth there.
Right. I agree totally.
There's no pruning of the tree.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you just keep adding fertilizer and more fertilizer, and eventually it's too much fertilizer, and the plant usually dies.
Yeah, because you're torching the roots.
Yeah.
That's what that is. When you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just an analogy. Anxiety and depression. Wow. Yeah, that's a big one. I think a lot of people suffer from depression. A lot of people. And that they're misdiagnosed as other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or they just take a pill for it and they don't try to solve anything. They just try to numb the pain just with pills alone, and don't try to get the therapy. Don't try to talk. Don't try to get into groups that are positive to help them understand why they may be feeling this. Because in some cases, you may not have to take a pill. You may just have to find people that are going to support you in a group that gives you some importance or something to do. There's a lot of middle-aged men and women in America, and they get complacent, and they're like, I don't know what to do. My grandma told me to get married and to have kids and to get the house. Now what do we do? So they get depressed just from that. So now if you go find a group of like a bowling league, or you find something to do, obviously you can't do that now, but you find an external group to work in or talk to, just like we found with like the flat earth community. We don't all obviously believe in the flat earth, but we all made a community of like-minded people that debunk things or talk about things, just like Junk does with the Bible. There's a lot of us who like talking about it, and kind of you don't debunk it per se, but you do talk it through, and so there's a group of us that will want to do that. And so we've made these little communities where we're positively doing things that are giving us little empowerment, or making it kind of worth being stuck at home, not being able to do anything in these times, so it's a positive experience instead of dwelling on it.
I just want to point out one thing about here in the United States that I don't remember where the hell I heard it, but somebody did an analysis of insurance companies, and they found out that insurance companies are way more willing just to pay for pills when it comes to mental health than to pay for actual therapy.
Yep.
Mm,
So
weird.
Yeah, some insurance companies find talk therapy is not covered, but medicine is.
And
It's
the
like-
pharmaceutical companies are paid money to tell you it is the cure-all drug. And so they're going to convince the doctors and convince even therapists, oh, this will solve all the problems that your patients have, you know? And so they're just like, they'll just throw a pill at it because they figure, oh, instead of years of sitting down and talking with somebody and trying to unravel the trauma they had in their life and then try to fix that and then turn it into something beautiful or something positive, they just want to throw pills at it. And that's not how you I think I've talked about this before. I've worked in sex therapy a bunch. I've helped couples. I've worked with groups of people to work through. Some people have come to me and we started talking with groups years ago, but I've had people come to me and go, I don't know why I like to get tied up and beat, you know? And so we'll walk them through like what happened in your past. And it won't just be me. And this isn't just like, I don't have any kind of back experience on kind of helping people with this therapy. I do a little bit. And so we walk them through kind of their life. And then you kind of figure out maybe why they have these urges. And then later on, they feel safer playing with their partner in these certain ways because they don't feel it's dangerous anymore. They're like, I don't know why I like being put in a closet, you know? And you work them through some of their past stuff and they go, oh, I can see kind of where being closed in something means this in my life because of what happened to me early on. It wasn't that they got locked in closets as a kid. It was they want this certain type of feeling to happen to them because of what happened to them early on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of our past is present in ourselves today, you know? So
what I found out is the first couple sexual experiences you have, not exactly with another person, but like watching a TV show and getting attracted to Elvira, that will cause you to be go towards a certain fetish later in life. You know, you're going to go to the goth girls because that's what you first started being attracted to. It may be because she was very empowering and you're like, oh, I want her to dom me, but you're a kid. You don't understand that, but you thought she was a powerful woman and you wanted her to dominate you. So that's one thing that we walk through is what are your first feelings of sexual experience with or without a person, and then go from there.
Well, you know, I hear what you're saying there, but never again brought up a good point about the efforts that you put in, you know, to therapy. It's up to, you know, it's up to the individual and, you know, the long-term goals and what you want to accomplish with the therapy, you know. So there is that aspect as well. So, yeah, that's a good point.
And a lot of times it was couples coming to us and asking, I'm really into some weird, crazy stuff. Is this safe or how do we make it safer? And so then we go and look at their programming and see if we have to deprogram them in some way, shape, or form so that their understanding of not pushing themselves too far, because that's mainly what it is people are like, I want to be like destroyed. And that doesn't feel safe. So we go, okay, how can we make it so you feel safer and maybe not want to take it so far? You know, maybe we can dial you back some. Maybe you really don't need to be put in a closet every time. Maybe we can just blindfold you and just tell you you're in a closet or something. So it's more about making play safe and making people mentally safe when they're trying to. Technically, they're harming themselves or being harmed in a certain way. It's just hopefully the person is very knowledgeable and makes it as safe as possible. Like I've said before, I won't do anything to anybody that I don't have past experience or I haven't studied myself or done to myself. Like I've pierced myself from head to toe with needles. So I feel safe piercing somebody everywhere.
Well, should I spin?
Please,
There's
tips.
only 3.
Nips.
Oh, did I say tits? Sorry.
Yeah.
Freudian slip. And speaking of that,
So fucking important.
Yes.
yes.
Support system. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like this community, for example. Young Chop has brought a lot of us together by using the Bible.
Okay. So yeah,
So,
good
yeah.
example. Yeah. Great example. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I have all the people in this community that are willing to help me if I need it, and I know it. You know, so that right there gives me, the strength to do what I need to do for myself. That helps me to do what I need to do for myself. I think I already said that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it does. It makes me strong. I know, okay, that's by my side. It's supporting me both ways. So I know it's there, and that's how it helps me, even though I may not need it and use it, I know it's there. And that in my mind gives me the, I guess, fortitude to power through something that I normally would not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because if you're out there and you think you're alone and nobody's with you, nobody's behind you, it's really tough to go ahead and to make this. To all the stuff we've been talking about is really. It doesn't help if you don't have support. It's kind of hard to get over the hump of seeing past all the crap. The support, I think the support helps you to focus more on getting over the hump, if so to speak.
One of the major reasons why I started my sideshow and I started performing on stage, doing freak show stuff and acts like that was I wanted to show people, and it turned into teenagers and children, that they can achieve whatever they want, that they're not alone. So seeing me as a freak on stage, no matter what they felt like, they felt that there's other people in the world or the universe that felt like them, or at least wasn't a normal. Like maybe they only know a strict Christian lifestyle, and everybody has to wear their clothes all nice, and they have to be fancy, or or well groomed or whatever. But if you want to not dress like everybody else or not act like everybody else, there are people that are different, and that there are communities of people to where you should be able to fit in some more shape or form. There's 11 billion people on this earth, or maybe whatever. That's so many people. You've got to be able to find a small group of people to fit in with. You just have to understand how to look and be safe about it and finding a community. That's what the fetish dungeons and swinger events that we were doing were. Technically, we're making a community of like-minded people that we can support each other in things that are happening, like with the dungeon. You need help tying somebody up and pulling them on ropes. Okay, well, we got 5 people here to be your safety.
Well, too, what? That's great. That's great, Slim. I love it. And what makes me feel better when I have support, when I know someone says, yeah, I'm here. I'll be here for you. And I hear that, I go, wow. Oh, okay. That really helps. Even if I don't utilize it, I know that person or this entity is there for me, of course it's going to give you some confidence, so that's how I look at it, because even though I may not utilize the support, I know it's there. Just knowing it's there is a big part of getting over that hump, so to speak, that I was talking about.
Definitely. Never again had a good point. We're a community of unlike-minded people, and that always can bring people together as well. Not having not having a thing that we all like, flat Earth. Yay, we're all flat earthers. We're all
right.
We're all individuals, and that's what brings us together.
Well, yeah,
nobody on the panel. Yeah. Nobody on the panel is like anybody on the panel.
Yeah, we're all diverse. Yeah, it's a diverse group. That's how we.
Yeah.
That's the best way to grow is through diversity, I think.
And I'm not going to learn in an echo chamber. You're just going to grow stagnant and die. Yeah. So I would rather talk to people of different life experiences in different. That grew up different ways, that believe in different things. The only way for me to learn is to go and talk to the really religious person and the really non-religious person and the drunk at the bar, the person in the library. I go talk to every walk of life, because one thing I always think is, if everybody was the same, life would be very, 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 very boring, and it couldn't progress. You have to have a bread maker. You have to have the butcher. You have to have the baker. You have to have everybody to make a community. If everybody was the same, existence wouldn't be able to progress or to move on. You can't have a million bakers and no butchers. You can't, have no teachers. You can't have no policemen. You have to have a little bit of everything. So a community, just like what they say, to raise a child takes a town or a community or whatever, not just, the village thing. Same difference, and so you have to have the drunk of the town. You have to have the mayor. You have to have the sheriff. You have to have the jailer. You have to have everybody.
Yeah, so but there are people, no matter what you do for them, no matter what the support system they have, they just do not, they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over, regardless of the support system they have.
Yeah.
You ever meet people like that? You ever know people that they have all the support?
There are some people who just ain't finna learn.
Yeah.
And at a certain level, that's a freedom you have to grant people.
Yeah, of course.
You can give people all the support and all the you can buttress as many people as you possibly can, but every once in a while you do run across some of those folks who just ain't finna learn, and you can't make them learn, and
you can lead them to water.
At some point, you just got to let them go.
It's frustrating.
That can be tragic, and that can be heartbreaking to watch them walk off into the desert all alone by themselves. But if they're determined,
well, that's kind of
not help someone who refuses to be helped.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do with like the flat earthers and certain conspiratorial people. We offer them help, and once you see they won't take the help, or they weren't taught how to use the information properly, because I honestly don't think that everybody's that brain nourished is the best way I guess I had to put it. It's the education system that they went through. In the Americas, certain education systems taught you to not learn how to learn. It was anti-learning they taught you. It was to follow the government and the Bible, and that was all they taught you. And so what do? You go to church every Sunday, and the Bible tells you what to do. Go ahead and read it.
Well, for some people, that's what they need, and I can't I can't not let them do that. I have to let them do that.
There's nothing else you can do.
No.
But that's why I make videos making fun of those people, because I don't know what else to do other than to point and laugh.
Well, ridicule has its place, and that's where, especially in religion, it definitely has its place,
Well, that's what junk is doing with
Oh,
reading
yeah.
the Bible. It's
Oh yeah.
taking it apart and then saying, wait, if this really meant this, then
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but we're getting a pure dose of the idiocy that is
Yeah.
the scriptures. We're getting a pure dose of it, and it's right in your face. There's no hiding it.
Well, the hypocrisy is so prevalent that it's just insane.
Oh yeah,
You read one passage and it says, don't rape your sister. And you read another passage that says, well, I mean, if you did it on a Sunday and there was rose petals, then I guess it would be okay.
Yeah.
if you did this weird like ritual first, then God won't kill you.
Yeah, right. Whatever. I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. Either way. So
Yeah.
So, Junk Shop, how does that make you feel?
that proverbial question.
Makes me feel like I need a good support system.
Yes.
It helps.
I had a thought before with with the circle jerks and stuff like that. And that we're all different and all that. I actually appreciate that this community has a few theists in it, because you don't want it to be just atheists laughing at religion. You want them to join in with, like, someone like Sam Chaos, for example, who I think is a great person, and he's a theist, and he can see the silly things about religion, but still believe in the God that he believes in. And like, we can have a conversation, even if he doesn't, he believes, and most of us doesn't.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I agree with that too.
But the thing is, Sam thinks about it.
Closed-minded.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, the thing about Sam is that he thinks about it,
Yeah.
right? He does look at it with some critical thinking.
Yeah.
All right, which you don't find, especially here in the United States. Like 80% of the religious people in the United States, they don't think about it. They bought into it's God's word, and you don't question it.
I have a feeling, and that feeling is God is real, so I ain't gonna question that.
Hey, it's just the way it is, right? That's just the way it is.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how what they say in the South. Like literally, what I said was pretty much how they say it. Because they've had it beaten into their heads since they were little kids, because that's when the first time they were taken to church. So because it was told to them so many times, I just believe that Jesus is Lord and he is going to save us. What proof? Oh yeah, you don't. Never mind.
Well, indoctrination is a hell of a drug. So says One Ring 42.
The Catholic Church has mastered that mental taking over and making people into zombies with their religion. And I mean, how many times can they hide a pedophile while they're claiming that the Satanists are the pedophiles?
Yeah.
I mean, like, like every so often one of their people gets caught and they're like, no, but it's the other side that's doing it. It's like, wait, somebody the other day said that to me. They're like, the Satanists are the ones that are doing all this stuff. And I'm like, I was in Christian school when that happened to me. So where's your argument? And then they're like, yeah, dude, show me. I mean, I'm sure it happens. I'm not going to say that there's not groups of people that it happens everywhere. You know, you got to say that.
Satan is in the church too, isn't he?
Well, I mean, God gave him the power. So I think that's kind of God's fault.
Well, I guess Satan's in the church too, huh?
but God, but God couldn't be the good guy if he didn't have a bad guy. So you had to make a bad guy to have a good guy. So
yeah, well, you let him into your own house, right? You're gonna let the bad guy in. That's your fault if you're the good guy and you let the bad guy in. I mean, come on.
Well, you didn't.
Besides, what would the story be without the good guy and the bad guy?
Well, that's what I was. Yeah, exactly. Right. You need a nemesis in a story. You know,
we need that.
Problem is, I think somebody got the characters mixed up.
I think so as well, because Satan seems like a really good guy.
Well, if you look at the statistics of deaths caused by either character in the Bible, God has the devil beat by a mile.
Junk. Am I correct in believing it's like 200 people that Satan has killed?
I think it's even less than that.
Extravagant.
Yes, scientifically we would call that orders of magnitude.
Padre and some random other dude at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very few.
Not that many.
Yeah. There are more people that kill in large numbers in the name of God than in the name of Satan. Every once in a blue moon, you have a crazy person who kills a handful of people for Satan, but really was God talking to him, probably. Never mind. But you know, it's same difference. You know, there are people in countries right now that are like, in the name of whatever God, and they're killing thousands of people. The people killing for Satan, maybe a couple. Maybe there's like 3 deaths for Satan right now happening in America. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but it's not the same for God.
Yeah.
And it's probably not happening for Satan at all. I'm just being silly.
There seems to be some like murderers and stuff who like but I mean, compared to the people who, how many people kill in the name of God, it's very few.
Yep. Like in the United States, how long does it take before you hear about a story about parents having their kids killed because of exorcisms?
Yeah. That is so scary that there's still like a handful of priests in the Americas who travel around the country doing exorcism. It's scary.
No, I'm talking about evangelicals.
Yeah. No,
who just their local, preacher.
Oh, they have the local house. Do it.
Yeah, the locals. The local church comes to these parents' house and
it's really sad because
physically abuses their kids.
Yeah, most of the time it's a mental. Them. Yeah, no, most of the time it's a mental disorder that just needs to be treated in some way, shape, or form, or a misbalance in something. Maybe there's like lead paint in the room, or I mean, that's like kind of going off. But most of the time, it's something that's medical. And the movie about what's her name? What's the famous exorcist? I guess Exorcist. They said they went to doctors and the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. I don't think that really happened. I think they exaggerated. The Emily thing. Yeah. They in the movie, and I don't know about the book because I hadn't read it in a long time. But in the movie, they're like, oh, they went to a doctor and they went to a doctor and they went to a doctor and the doctor said they couldn't figure it out. So they said to get an exorcist. Man, that's I don't know, man. It's hard. It's kind of hard to believe. I think it was more they thought to go to get the exorcist than a doctor's telling them.
Yeah, it's the whole exorcism thing happens. It happens entirely more often than I think a lot of us would like to think.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Hey, Linda, can you bring up Greg's comment from 4:03 p.m. if you don't mind? Some people think depression means, because that's a really good point, I think, and I've hammered on that on my channel before, but it's one of those things in the culture that we've just got to change somehow.
I'll read it. If someone, some people think depression means blue or sad. They've never felt the depth of clinical depression. Yeah, probably. They say things like cheer up or do something you enjoy. If they knew, they wouldn't say that. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Probably.
Well, that's where the whole anxiety and the other word, whatever, just even anxiety comes up. Just because you're depressed doesn't mean it's a feeling down. It could be like, oh, what's going to happen next? So I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out inside. I want to jump out of my own skin because like I don't know what to do with these emotions or something. So
yeah,
but that may look a little bit different because like, being depressed may be like a little bit like more kind of like, and when what I'm talking about is more like, but still same difference, like depression can be different shades of
it's different
emotions,
It's definitely different. You can be sad over some incident that happened in your life, right? But depression is like, it's fucking getting darker and darker every single day after day, week after week, month after month. All right.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
It's a mounting feeling.
Depression is fucking cataclysmic.
Right.
Yeah. It is. But you have to realize it. You have to realize it, and then you have to do something about it. We've already talked about that.
Being sad is like upset or just not happy that there's clouds out or that it's raining. Depression is you have a deep hurt inside of you, in you because your mortgage or something actually way more further or that's more complicated than just your relationship that you're having. Your kid is
place.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Linda, can you bring up what Never Again says?
It can just be a state of being that wears on you and presses you down into the dirt.
Yeah.
For no discernible reason.
Yeah.
Totally.
The truly crippling aspect of clinical depression can be that there's nothing to strike out against. There's nothing against which to act. That can be the truly, Never Again's got it right there. It can kill your ability to function.
Yeah.
So,
one point of this that I want to bring up real quick is I had this weight because Junk had mentioned this. I had this weight on my shoulders for a long time, and until I tattooed my hands and my face, I had this weight that I had no idea what it was. It wasn't until I modified my body so far to look what I wanted to look like. This is what I want to look like. Like when I go to lay down in bed, I wanted my face to be tattooed. I wanted my hands to be tattooed. I wanted my feet to be tattooed. I didn't really understand how that was making me depressed or it was causing me to be weighted down until I did it. I'm not suggesting everybody gets their face tattooed. Please don't do that. But I understand that. And it's finding out what you need to do in your life maybe to change that so that you hopefully won't feel that weight anymore?
Well, there's a balance, and it's different for everyone.
Of course,
Yep.
yeah.
So it's difficult to find that balance because someone says, "Oh, my balance, I do it this way," and it's what works for somebody isn't always going to work for the other person. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, well, like for me, getting body modifications helps my stress level go down. When I'm having stressful days or a stressful week, sometimes I'll just go get a piercing because I can take it out next week. It doesn't really matter. It's just getting needles thrown in my body. So it's just my own stress reliever. Most people in society would look at me and say, that's insane. I totally agree. But that's one of my ways, like I get stressed out. I hit up one of my tattoo artists and I'm like, throw some ink in me. Find a design you want to do and throw it on my, empty skin somewhere. I just need to get modified. So again, it's however you figure out.
Yeah, everyone has their own coping mechanisms, and whatever that is, if it works for you and you're able to live life and be happy, that's great. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you're doing great, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
And
it harm none. Do what thou wilt.
Exactly. Yeah. That's for sure.
I just shut myself in.
You shut yourself in, Linda.
Yeah.
But you know when you're doing that. Right?
Yes.
You're aware. Well, you see, the awareness is a big part of changing something that you're not quite happy with, right? If you weren't aware of it, how would you attempt to change it? So,
But that's the thing about depression. It's insidious.
Oh yeah.
It's really.
Because you know what it does to me? It makes me stop going to my doctor's appointments. I have every excuse in the world for why I missed my doctor's appointment. I should not have missed my doctor's appointment. Why am I missing my doctor's appointment? Because my depression is telling me, hey, you don't have to go to the doctor. You're an old man. You're going to die anyway. That's what it's telling me. So I don't go. And then I look back, I go, oh, why I didn't go. Why didn't I go? Because my depression is telling me not to follow along with my health instructions, with the things I'm supposed to do that make me feel good or that are good for my health. It is insidious.
I've had suicidal thoughts recently.
You have? Well, that you got to talk about. Even if you talk privately about that, that's not something that, it's serious business there,
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about is a permanent solution.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the permanent solution.
Yeah, I have the thoughts.
But the problem
I can't do anything.
But it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. All these problems can be figured out. It's just we have to have the willingness and the strength to figure them out.
It just sometimes doesn't feel like that in the moment. It just sometimes doesn't feel like there is.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
any other way.
I know.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, you have to realize what it is, and you have, which is the first step, and then you just have to reach. You have to reach out, which is counterintuitive to people who want to kill themselves. The last thing they want to do is to let someone know that that's what they want to do.
Thank
Well,
you,
that's
Sandy.
I think that's what you have to do. You have to keep saying, I want to do this, and that's what it is. And let people know. Let people know, Linda.
Yeah.
People did know.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Just ask Amiga.
That's good.
Good.
That's what you need to do, Linda. You know that. There's this thing
All right. Take care, Harmonica Man. We'll see you.
We lose Sam.
He muted.
Oh, you muted.
I'm talking like crazy the whole time. Anyway. Wow. How did I get muted?
I don't know. Ask your finger.
Ask my finger.
That's
Why'd you do that? Look at your finger and say, "Why'd you do that?"
What I'm saying is what I was saying before is you gotta rat this shit out. When you start thinking these crappy, stinky, disgusting thoughts about yourself, and you gotta rat them out. You gotta let someone else who you love or who loves you know about what the fuck you're thinking, man.
yeah.
One of the other things I do, and I don't know how much this applies to other people, but I hope this helps at least one person. I look at my past accomplishments because I have 10 world records, right? So every once in a while, I start getting really down on myself, and I'm like, "You're a loser, and you've never done anything." And I have to go, wait, hold on. I have 10 world records right now. That's not what somebody who hasn't achieved goals has, you know? And I like sometimes look at my old videos or look at my old photos and go, remember that crowd of 2,000 people that were cheering you on? Okay. You had 2,000 people at one time having fun, you know? I look at like streams and stuff and go, you know what? I entertained people for 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm playing video games and streaming and just talking nonsense. Well, 12 people were there and they obviously wanted to listen to my dumbass. So how is that not good? So I just try to like put things in perspective and go, what is working and how is that working? And if people are paying attention to me as an entertainer, well then I guess that's positive, right? And that's how I put it in perspective is.
Well, that's hard to do in the moment, but
Totally.
I understand that, and I think there are exercises that you can do that help you think more like that when you are in the moment.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to get at. I may not have conveyed it properly, but yeah,
no,
if you can find ways to look back at what you've done or give yourself more purpose, or just say, hey, we're working on this. I have a show in the works. So in 2 weeks, that will be premiering. Okay, cool. I do have things to look forward to, and things are progressing as well. You know, in this day and age, it's really tough because we're in so much turmoil with not knowing what's happening with lockdowns and jobs, the society, communities, public anything. I was told that we're not going to be able to do live events until the summer of next year, or until next year. Seeing Disney World open up in Florida gives me a little tiny bit of hope. And seeing some of these musicians doing like events where they have everybody inside of an air bubble, everybody's inside of a bubble, even the band on stage, and they're performing, gives me small amounts of hope. But live events won't happen for a long time, and that's my bread and butter. That's what I did for a living. I mean, my whole career was based on live events, and I've had to shift. So turning that mindset has been a real challenge for me. I spent 3 months really, really depressed and not knowing what to do. And I pulled myself out of it and started doing these streams. And I set up this whole studio in my living space now. and started playing video games and streaming them. And so I changed. I can't be in front of live people, but now I can perform still, you know.
So you found a way around it, you know?
Yeah, I managed it instead of, yeah.
You know, there was a limitation and you found a way around it. That's the way, that's a good way. That's a healthy way of doing it.
So that's one thing, is if you're coming up to hurdles or to walls, try to find the ways around them or over them, you know. We all have to change the way we've been doing things in our whole lives. I've been entertaining for 25 years straight.
Well, you said it. It's about change, you know.
Yeah.
If you wanna progress in your own individual mental health, you have to put in the work. It's not gonna be easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be hard. And that's all I have to say, you know, but the payoffs are enormous for your own well-being, you know, just for your own sanity, you know.
Yeah.
So
try to find a niche that really makes you happy in life and go with it. And if you can make money at it, even better. Luckily for me, I've been able to turn myself into a freak and make money at it. So I get to be one with myself.
well, if you're comfortable with it, then other people will be just as comfortable. Yeah, I feel that way. It depends on how you present yourself, you know.
Sam, what happened to your audio?
My audio?
Ah, there you go.
That's better.
I don't know what's going on with the audio today.
It went shite for a second, but now it's good.
Oh, I don't know. I was saying something silly. I was jump shopping.
Yeah. Well, I think what we were getting at is that everybody needs to get a webcam, and then we can have virtual orgies. Was that the direction? Never mind. Sorry. I was thinking something else.
Like that doesn't happen already.
Yeah.
I want it to happen a lot more.
Well, maybe you got to be the facilitator.
That's why I have my Discord.
Oh, there you go. Well, me, I have intimacy issues, so I can't even get involved in that. It's laugh, okay. But it's true. I laugh.
We just blindfold you, and then you don't know whose hands are touching you. That's how we solve that.
Oh, that would be even worse.
That may be even worse for somebody with intimacy issues.
No, would be.
Yeah, you're right.
You're scratching, Sam.
I am. I don't know what's happening. Should we spin? It's been a while.
Silence falls.
Spin.
Snips.
Online versus.
That's even an option in the days of Corona. You take what you can get, right?
Yeah, these days.
Yeah, but I was thinking more like pros and cons.
Well, I can see one right away.
What's RT therapy?
Real time.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
I could see one right away, but it depends on, like, you know, a lot of people take cues in conversations from facial expressions and body language and stuff like that. So if it was online, you might not catch those cues as readily as you would in person. You know what I'm saying? That might be one con to taking therapy or using therapy online as opposed to real time. You know, that feedback between people. Is my audio good? The feedback?
No.
No, it's very scratchy.
I don't know what to do about that.
I
Mute.
met my therapist after lockdown.
Okay.
Mute and unplug and plug back in.
I'm sorry. I've got a lag. I've got a ferocious lag here.
Go junk.
I met my my talk therapist after lockdown started, so I've got really nothing to compare it to. But I love it. We have a set appointment time. We meet, we talk. I'm accustomed to the webcam at this point. I don't find it at all threatening. I've been talking to a webcam for 2 years and change now, and now there just happens to be feedback on the other side from somebody who's trying to help me be less crazy. So honestly, at this point, I think I would be more stressed out having to, drive to an office, wait in a waiting room, go into an inner room, wait with somebody, talk with somebody. I like the online incarnation of therapy, just for me personally.
Where did you meet your therapist?
That's an excellent question, and one that would give away a little too much. I'm sorry.
Okay.
How's my audio now? Can you hear me?
Oh, that's much better.
Way better.
Yeah.
All right. There's
One thing.
there's 3 microphones that I have to choose from, but the funny thing is I only have 1 microphone. So I don't know which one to choose. So I just chose an alternate one than the one I was using. All right.
One thing I'm really glad to see on commercials is for online therapy. I've never seen commercials for therapy before, and that's a huge step for Americans, I believe, because it was very taboo in the past to go to a therapist, where now they're like, hey, are you having a bad time being at home with the virus, or being in the situation, and if you are, please go here. They may be more predatorial therapists where they're just doing it for money, but at least it's becoming more normalized to go talk to somebody and to go try to get therapy.
There is a stigma still, but it's becoming less.
They're not. I don't see as many commercials about go on Preslock or go on this antidepressant. It's more like
no kidding. Yeah.
It's more like go to a therapist and get help. So
that's a big business. All those pharmaceuticals used for mental health. Oh man, I'm glad I never went through that, because that's like trial and error. You have to find out what works best. So you have to try out a lot of different things, don't you? I mean,
after
seriously, yeah.
After Junk Shop goes over this, if you would like to, I'll put in my 2 cents about the pharmaceutical company.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest here, I was aware of someone over the internet, just aware of their internet presence, who I was aware did talk therapy. Not long after the pandemic and the lockdowns really hit, and my mental health just really went absolutely to shit. Not to put too fine a point on it, and pardon my French. I just blind reached out to him and said, I am aware that you are a person who practices the talk therapy, and are you accepting new clients, and would you be interested in working with me? And after several similarly awkward emails back and forth later, I mean, they're on the other side of the continent, so we had to do a little bit of research, looking up what was available, what was acceptable, what what was allowed to cross state lines from that perspective. We figured it out, and that was pushing a year ago at this point. And it's like finding an in-person therapist. Sometimes it's just a matter of the luck of the draw. My psychiatrist, who prescribes me my non-crazy pills here in town, I just happened to get lucky on that one as well. I was given a list of a handful of people to contact via my GP, and I called a couple of them, and quite frankly, this is going to sound crazy, y'all. It really and truly is. But quite frankly, I remained persistent with the one whose receptionist was most friendly and seemed most knowledgeable. That's how I entered the relationship I currently have with my bank. And that conversation was 18 years ago. If you're in the customer service field, y'all, do your best shit on any given day, because you never know. You never know what poor clueless 17-year-old is just looking for help.
That's a great point. You definitely, when you're in customer service or you're in the sales industry, treat everybody like they're going to be a lifelong customer, because they could be.
Yep.
That's what I do when I do shows. No matter who you are, what you look like, your age, creeds, sex, anything, you're my best friend. Hey, let's go have a beer, because that's how you get them to be a lifelong whatever supporter.
Yeah.
I can't do as many shows as I can do with people hating me. So no matter how silly they act, I gotta keep a straight face and say, yeah, you're the greatest, and so it's all about PR.
Well, if I was into public service, like if I had a public service job of some sort, I would want to give the service that I would want to receive. I would want to give that kind of service to people.
Yeah.
And from the other side of things, Sandy's got a great perspective in the chat. If you happen to know what your issues are, you can ask the therapist how much experience you have on that subject. If you're one of the first things I brought up when I started seeing my in-person psychiatrist was that I had a long and interesting history with anorexia. And he said, okay, well, yeah, I know a little something about that. Had he said, oh, dude, sorry, but I don't know the first fucking thing about dealing with eating disorders, the hope is that he would have said, but I know someone who does, and here's their card, and why don't you go call them between the hours of 8 and 5? It's there really are issues where you have to be a little proactive and advocate for yourself. And if, as Sandy pointed out, if you are fortunate enough to have some kind of actual diagnosis, or for the lack of a better term, buzzword of which you are aware, that can really facilitate the transition when you're moving into
or have a really good way to explain your symptoms.
Yes, Slim, exactly.
If you can say I get anxious during this time of day, or this happens. Definitely talk to these people before you make them your permanent, or make them that you're getting counseling under them, because I've talked to therapists who are like, you said some crazy stuff to me. You go see this person, you know. I actually was seeing a male therapist for my cross-dressing, and he said, this is too weird for me. I can't do it. There's a female therapist, and she's actually been working with people who are transgender and cross-dressers and things. And so he recommended me to her, because I was talking about things that he was like, I don't know how to help you. You're a boy wearing dresses, and I'm a man, and I don't. So I can't help you. So please go here. And I went to her, and she was so freaking awesome, because she understood me and walked me through a bunch of things, and she helped me so much. And so don't just go to the first person. Try out a couple, maybe, you know, or talk to them first, or, you know, look at their experience and look at their reviews. I guess if you're going to be doing it looking for somebody online, I guess just look at what people have said about their therapy and what cult they're attached to. No, I mean,
you mean look up their credentials, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, look up their past.
What school of thought, even? You know, if you've got serious issues with Jungian practice, maybe you don't want to go see a hardcore Jungian psychotherapist.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If I wanted to learn how to play the piano, I wouldn't just pick any random musician. I would want someone who knew how to play the piano and someone who I connected well with, and so on.
I usually look for a big pianist when I'm looking for that.
I heard what you did there.
What's wrong with a big piano?
Oh, the bigger the better, honey.
Nothing wrong with a big piano.
I can play with those keys all day long.
Depends on the size of the room. You don't want to overwhelm the room.
That is true. You don't want to put $1,000 inside of a 10-person space and put 50 people in there and then play really hard. You're going to blow their eardrums out. That's true. I mean,
sometimes you're fine with a bit of fiddling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But
sometimes
the innuendo is getting to me.
Sometimes you just got to whip out the MIDI, you know, the little tiny one, and then show it off, you know.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you don't need the full rear admiral. Sometimes General MIDI will suffice.
Exactly, honey.
I can play this game.
Yes.
So you've had so you would consider your online therapy a success or a successful venture for you, Junk Shop? It sounds that way.
So far we've only been working together for half a year, maybe 3/4 of a year now, but yeah, I have.
So you guys do the face-to-face camera thing, or is that what you guys do?
Yeah, we do. We work through Google Meets.
They have an endoscopic attachment for that. Never mind. Sorry, that's
endoscopy. a butt joke. Was that a butt joke?
That was a butt joke.
Hey, we went to the CBT joke like an hour and a half ago. I don't know if we can throw down an off-limits line at this point.
No. Not when I'm on stream.
Good point.
The only thing that I could foresee being a difference between online and real time or in person is physical. If you had the proper devices to one-on-one with a physical therapist, then you should be able to go through the same kind of routines. The only problem is sometimes physical therapy is them kind of working you through the hurt, kind of pushing you further. So,
yeah, I was really thinking more about brain therapy, but yeah, I can see where any kind of physical therapy or anything like that would really run into some limitations if you're trying to do it over the internet.
In the interwebs. I probably didn't have to bring that up, but I just thought of it and thought that, maybe I should bring it up.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because we think of therapy sometimes just as a mental process or something, but there's also physical, because I've had to go through that, and I know lots of people that have had to go through physical therapy.
Yeah, but online can be a good start, I think, for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the technology. That's what we have to work with these days. So, you have to go with the flow.
Yes.
So to speak. I mean, I don't think it'll ever be the same. Maybe it will eventually get back to where we can just do the one-on-one thing with the actual people, which would be nice, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a hot minute before we're back to that point.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
With so many people that are not believing in it and or are just not paying attention to like how to be safe, they're screwing it up for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Yes, never again. Some of them are not qualified. That's why you have to check them out. You have to hunt down their certifications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And make sure that they're licensed.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. In the state where they're practicing.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. I've seen a lot of cases go to court or people being caught for fraud because they're practicing in a state they were not licensed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get somebody who's reputable, who has who actually has credentials to check.
Yeah, and has an actual credential from an actual place. None of the Kent Hovind. I paid for a diploma from a trailer park in the middle of Waukegan.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in the United States, every state has a licensing board that keeps track.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's why they keep track.
Remember, kids, just like picking your dominatrix, do your research.
Yeah, what are you just going to walk into any dungeon?
And just say tie me up and beat me? No, you want to make sure they know what they're doing, and you looked up their credentials and talk to people that already worked with them.
Vet them.
Exactly. That's a great example.
Just like a partner or just like any other situation, you kind of want to go into it with a little bit of background, or you kind of want to get to know the person first before you make it a permanent, or if somebody starts putting up a bunch of memes about how the earth's flat, don't just believe the memes, do the research, go actually look up
yeah, use your brain. That's what you got it for. Use it.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ gave me the brain. I might as well use it. Right?
Yeah. If my doctor can't remember my name and conditions from one visit to another, he, she, they are fired. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your doctor spends the entire fucking visit with their nose in their notebook or their laptop or whatever, and they can't even remember from minute to minute what you're in there for, nope, no thank you. Nope, I need somebody. who gives a flying fuck. Sorry, thank you, goodbye, finding somebody else.
And or just knows it like off the top of their head, or has an understanding of the medicine in itself, so where they can just like open, oh, you got this, okay, so here's your options, and hey, let's my current doctor, he's really, really awesome. I think he's a little bit younger than me, but he's like this really like cool surfer kind of dude, and he like is on it, and he knows all my stuff, and he's really cool. So and he seems to know his stuff. I mean, I get really, I don't pay for healthcare because I don't like really make much, and so I don't like get the best doctors, but this guy's really cool. He seems to know what he's doing. He sent me to the right directions at the right times to go to talk to certain people for my different conditions. So, just don't just think you got to stick with whoever you first get.
Yeah.
Well, I had a therapist in my talk therapy. He wanted to prescribe immediately wanted to prescribe medicine, psychotropics. I'm like, wait, we only been doing this a week, and already you want to? I says, I don't want to take medicine. I said to the guy, and he threatened me. He said, well, I have the authority to make you take the medicine or commit you to an insane asylum. This is what he said to me.
Oh, fuck right off with that shit.
Yeah, I just looked him. I stared him right in the eye, and I just said, I hope you're not threatening me. And that was the end of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next day, I got a call from the lady who's in charge. I forget her name, but she says, "Yeah, the guy doesn't want you to doesn't want to take care of you anymore. So we have to find you someone new."
There's such thing.
Craziness.
There's such things as second and third opinion.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you can always ask for other doctors to look at certain things if, so.
Well, I told them specifically that I was not interested in taking drugs, psychotropic drugs. I first want to find out what the problem is, Then,
exactly. Talk me through it first, and if
through it, right?
If you can't finger me out from the inside by talking, then we'll insert me with pills.
Right. If that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But this guy wanted to go right from only a week into talk therapy. He wants to throw pills down my throat. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
Luckily for me, my mother, as a teen, when they started finding out I had mental disorders and weird things wrong with me, instead of them throwing pills at me, she goes, no. Let's try therapy first. So luckily for me, my mom wasn't willing to just sign a piece of paper to say Adderall or whatever they were going to throw me on just to get me to be normal. And I actually went through therapy to work through these problems and kind of talk about them. One of the things that happened to me going through therapy after Christian school was they were doing experimental therapies on me because they had never tried doing therapy on children from this type of abuse before.
Oh, my goodness.
So I actually helped the books being written for how they were going to apply these therapies to children because they had never done it before. So they had multiple people in a room and they had things going on. They had the whole mirror glass wall thingy. So they had other therapists behind the glass mirror wall and they were watching and taking notes. And then I had therapy sessions going on. So it was not just me and one person. It was lots of experimental crap going on through this therapy as a child. And the way I can think to make it a positive is to say that I helped other children in the future get through their therapy.
That's interesting.
That's good.
Because I was thinking about what Never Again was saying about she says, heaven forbid you tell your GP, general practitioner, I guess that is, that you tend to have serious thoughts about suicide. But as long as I stay aware of the purpose, I'm cool. Oh boy, I think we should be able to trust the doctor, but she doesn't trust the doctor.
Never again. I felt very overwhelmed with the therapy at the time, but I believe that it helped me in the end. They did make me go over the incident way too many times, but they were trying to put me through different types of therapy while having me talk about it, I guess. So I feel it was positive. I actually didn't remember it happened until I was 22 on a bunch of drugs with my friends, and I had the vision that it happened again. And then ever since that point, I've remembered it. So I actually didn't remember it for about 20 years.
Wow.
Well, the last word on the wheel is wellness, as you can all see if you're looking at the wheel.
So no nip this time.
So, I mean, I'm not going to spin it unless you just want to see the confetti fly.
Do it.
Confetti! Yay.
Wellness, yay!
There we go.
There it is.
Well, I pretty much think that's exactly what we've been talking about this whole
That's
time.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's right.
Which is great that this was the conclusion word on the wheel, because if anybody has any questions about how to find more wellness, put it in the side chat, or anybody wants to talk about.
If you find it.
Yeah, definitely. That too. Let us know where it is if you find it.
Yeah.
Be safe, take care, stand against hate.
Oh, there you go. That's a good word. Those are good words to live by. Yes, sirree. And isn't a lot of wellness has a lot to do with our personal choices too, right?
Yeah.
So be careful what you choose. It may not be the best thing for you at the time. But then again, I could be wrong. I didn't say very much there. I sometimes have good things to say, but not always.
Come on, Sam.
I'm trying
You
to
got
say
some of the best words, man.
I'm trying to save myself here. I'm sinking.
Save yourself for marriage or what?
Just joking.
We're all joking.
Just trying to have fun, this crazy world we live in.
And
we've
been going for like 2.5 hours.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having the fun.
Has it been going?
Yes. And you're in charge of the outro.
Yeah, just have to switch the screens. That's all. Stop sharing.
Oh, she looked time. Everybody in the chat who has a wrench, shield yourselves.
Yes, please do.
Because I'm feeling lazy today.
All right, there you go. You wanted it? You
just being honest.
Right.
Okay, Junko, what part of the Bible are you going over next?
Oh, y'all, we're still Jeremiah.
Jerry.
Good old Jeremiah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're doing the Mormon Bible as well, correct?
We are. That's
Yes.
Saturdays at 6:30 Eastern.
So you're on Mikhail. You're on no, I'm just kidding.
We're getting ready to start Second Nephi in the.
The Nephi. The good old Nephi. That's my favorite about.
Just barely getting started, but it's starting.
That's some crazy fun stuff, let me tell you. So yeah.
It's almost.
I thought. Go ahead.
It's like some of those passages are very hypnotic, I must say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it came to pass.
Came to pass. It came to pass.
Out of all of the Bibles, it has a weird rhythm that, I guess would be hypnotic. A very otherworldly kind of feel to some small extent. The rhythm is trippy. I can't read it, too much of it at one time.
Playing the intro or outro.
Everybody got your dancing shoes on?
Yeah, you got to start dancing.
I'm dancing in my non-pants.
Oh, you could stand up now.
Standing up.
Thanks for
you're
watching,
not.
everyone. Subscribe, like a bit of tea and Danish.
Yeah, that's me.
A
Yeah.
bit of T&D.
That's Linda.
Stand against hate.
What was that, Junk Shop?
I say stand against hate.
That's right.
Yes.
Hate here. Stand against hate. A bit of coffee in Swedish is just a strange lady.
She's my favorite lady.
Hey, thanks you guys, Microraptor and Junk Shop, for stopping by and being on the show.
Oh, here. Y'all got fancy graphics.
All right.
Yes,
We got the
that's
best.
all-
We got
all
the best Junk Shop.
eoSam's doing.
And we got. I didn't know that Flame was gonna be here, so that was a fun surprise.
No?
I didn't either.
What did I do?
Me too.
I didn't.
You just jumped in here.
I didn't know that you would. I did not know that you were gonna be here, so I was a little bit surprised. But that was a fun surprise.
I always am the surprise guest.
Yeah,
Yes, very
and
surprising.
Yuli. It was also a really fun surprise.
It's surprising even when I do this.
I can see you right now.
I know.
Use your imagination, that's all.
I'll shave for next time and then I'll show my junk.
Very considerate of you.
Boy, we talked about a lot today.
Yeah.
We really did. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. So did the chat.
Yeah.
I know. And
Hell.
ring that bell. Yes, like and subscribe. And ring that
Remember
bell.
to put it on all.
Yes. And Never Again was really on point today with her chat in the side chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on. Yeah.
Somebody needs to get their own microphone and a camera.
Yeah, really. And again, thanks everybody for showing up. We love you. Wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you. Bye.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Take care, y'all.
See ya.
Okay,
I'm-
bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.
Same channel. And at the usual time. What I'm trying to do.
What? Huh? What?
You're teasing someone who hasn't got a webcam.
It's fading out. It's fading out.
Fading.
Yay.